All right, another week, another twig. Welcome everybody to This Week in Gwent, a weekly show which we talk everything Gwent, and we have guests. And today we have MelGWENT or Melissa wearing a beautiful, beautiful Skoyatel pin.
I'm representing the guest faction here. I did it for you.
It's not like we choose guests based on their faction preferences, but yeah, maybe we kind of do.
A little bit. No bias at all.
No bias here. No, totally no. So yeah, everybody's here probably for leaks, but we'll get to the leaks. I mean, there's really not much to discuss in terms of like what's going on this week within Gwent, because we are kind of preparing everything for Gwent Open, which is happening next weekend. So we'll have an Open number 3, which is the last Open this year, that will later lead into World Masters happening. There will be a play-in tournament for remaining people that want to take part of that, but more information about that will come from us very, very soon. And yeah, I saw Vlad is in chat, so people are saying to hide the leaks. Vlad is here for the leaks, not to hide them, so don't worry about that. So yeah, we're preparing for that. That's one thing, and the other thing that we're preparing for is the next card drop and the next update, which is coming October 4th, and we will later pretty much show something to you. I don't want to do it straight away. I want to keep the tease on for a little bit, because we have a guest here. So Mel, how are you doing?
I am doing so good. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm great. I mean, it's been a long week for sure. But I'm happy that twigs are always on Friday, because it closes up my week, and it's a time just to sit down and chat. And then yeah, later this will go up on YouTube. So for those watching on YouTube, I hope you enjoy it, because it's going to be a nice around 1 hour conversation where we're talking about everything Gwent related, pretty much Melissa's journey within Gwent, Witcher, and all things around that. So yeah, pretty stacked episode as always. Also, for those that want to be here on Twig, you can reach out to me pretty much everywhere, on Twitter, on Discord. Probably I would not say Facebook, because Facebook I keep it kind of private-ish. But if I know someone, yeah, you'll be probably added as a Facebook friend. So if you want to come on, let me know. Yeah, I know Vlad, you want to be on, but you've already been on so many episodes that
he already had his chance.
Yeah, you already had your chance a couple times. Maybe we'll do it post patch, because it's always good to discuss the meta, discuss what people are talking about. So for sure we'll be doing that. So yeah, Melissa or Mel, I don't know how you want to be addressed as, whatever. What's your preference here?
I prefer Melissa, but Mel is fine.
Yeah, Melissa sounds better, because that's your name, right?
That is my name.
Perfect. So Melissa, how did you discover Gwent? That's what I want to know.
It's kind of a long story. I never played any video game in my life.
Oh, okay.
Ever. So yeah, my life changed a lot. I'm always around people who play video games, like my husband Max, lifelong gamer. All my best friends always play video games. I was always like, don't think this is for me. Come COVID, right?
Yeah, that changed our lives.
It changed a lot. So yeah, I just told you I was a nurse in New York. I kind of lost like everything. Like what I did was I hung out with people, right?
Yeah.
Can't hang out with people. That's my hobby. So my best friend actually recommended that I start playing Witcher 3. She's like, I know you don't play video games, but it's really story-based. Yeah, she's like, it's really story-based. You'll like the art. I started playing it. You should play it. And I was like, I don't know. I do trust her a lot. I tried it. I just like fell in love with it.
Nice.
I think like the first in White Orchard is the first opportunity you get to play Gwent.
Mm-hmm.
And I took that opportunity. I grew up playing card games with my grandmother.
Oh, okay. But like just like normal cards, right? The
normal
standard
cards.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was always playing normal cards. So I was like, oh, a card game. Like I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would talk to Max, my best friend, about it. And Max was like, that's like a game, right?
Yeah.
It's like the more I would get through it, I'm like, I really like the story in Witcher 3, but not great at the fighting. Really good at this card game, though. But this is the best part of the game. And he was like, there's like a standalone game you could play. Oh. And I was like, no, I'm not getting into another game. Like, this is it. Like, I cut it. I was like, I am not becoming a video gamer. Like, just this. And then I kind of got into the Witcher lore. I looked into like Scoia'tael, of course.
Perfect.
And I was like, well, this is great. I started reading about it, and I was like, but I can't play the faction in Witcher 3 because it takes so long to collect all the cards. Yeah. And then Max kind of gave me that magic sentence. He was like, you can play Scoia'tael if you play this standalone game.
Ah, okay. That's how he reeled you in.
Yeah. So he played in open beta, actually.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of resources from open beta, played a few games, never continued with it. So that was when Harmony was like really, really strong. So we kind of made one account and kind of like learned the game together from there. And it was, no turning back now.
Nice. So which meta, like more or less, did you join in at? Like what was being played at that time?
So I joined in when Harmony was like super OP, like with Pavko, with like Melina and
the good old days.
The good old days. Mystic Echo Harmony, exactly. So that's when I started. Super fun. Max was kind of able to build like a super meta deck right away from the resources. We kind of ran through the ranks together, learned the game, and then I was like, this is a little too easy, right? Being able to build a meta deck right away. Like, I want to feel like I deserve it. So that's when I made my own account.
Okay.
And kind of started from like free to play, no extra scraps, nothing. The first card I crafted was Waters of Brackalon.
Nice.
The next day, patch drops.
And it got nerfed.
Harmony dead. I was like, my precious 800 scraps.
Welcome to card games. Either something gets banned or it gets nerfed, or it just rotates out, or something happens to it, and then you're like, okay, what am I gonna do now?
Okay, but shortly after that, Nature's Gift was released, which was so fun. It's still like my favorite deck to play.
Yeah. I mean, you joined at a great time, and I'm not surprised that you were taken on the Scoia'tael route, because Scoia'tael was very, very good at that time. Like, a lot of people still say that, Harmony at that time, as it was, it felt like it was, like you were pretty much cheating the game. Although I feel like, for me, when I played in beta, like the old Skellige discard package was just so incredible, with the ships pinging all the time. Like, it's an old version of Gwent. It doesn't resemble anything that we have within the game right now. But at that time, I think it was just like, it just felt like it was just too easy. Like, I remember playing both on PC, and then, playing also, the game was on PS4. Also playing it on PS4, I was able just to like pretty much steamroll everybody. Especially starting from zero, and I already had all the cards, because it was kind of like an account that was a company account. But yeah, I also feel like, if you look at Gwent, the economy within the game itself was always generous, and was very easy to accumulate a very good deck, a meta deck, quite easily. So how did the journey look for you since you started on your own account?
It was pretty easy and pretty quick. I was able to kind of get all the cards I needed. I think I made the account in July. I hit pro rank for the first time in September. It was pretty easy for me. It was really fun to kind of open kegs, see if you're getting what you wanted. I unfortunately, and regretted it, milled all the syndicate cards. I was like, I'm never playing this faction.
Okay.
And I regretted it like big time. Because little did I know, once you're in pro rank, you have to play all.
Yeah, you have to play all of it. Yeah, unfortunately, that's a thing. But so were you like day one set that you want to focus on Scoia'tael, or did you when you started playing, did you jump from faction to faction, and you actually wanted to see like what the other factions are about?
So I played Scoia'tael, at least for a month or two, then I jumped to Monsters. I think like older Death Wish.
Yeah.
Was like super fun. I jumped to Monsters a little bit. I think I was just Scoia'tael and Monsters for a little bit. Max is like a Northern Realmser, unfortunately. So I kind of left
conflict
that to
of
him.
interest here, I see.
Major conflict of interest. But yeah, I mostly played like Scoia'tael and Monsters, and then like I got to pro rank, and I was like, oh, like well, now I could just like meme around, right? Now I can like play decks I like.
Yeah.
And I was playing this like super memey like Crow Swarm deck with like Axel, and I had like so much fun with it. But then I was like, I think I'm gonna like try this like MMR thing. And now I'm just like a meta slave.
You're also a content creator for Team Legacy. How did that happen? But I've actually probably streaming happened before that, right? You started streaming the game, and then so maybe let's start with streaming, and then let's get to Team Legacy and content creation there. So how did your journey with streaming happen? So you set up your account, you started playing. When was the decision to kind of like, oh, I want to stream this on Twitch?
So Max was kind of still helping me. I said he like coached me in Gwent. You know, he played like Magic before, Hearthstone, like every video game you could mention, he's kind of played. So he was helping me kind of figure it out a little bit. We would like sit next to each other at night. We would play. We would talk over the plays. He introduced me to Twitch.
That's so cute.
It was really cute. It was really nice bonding during COVID.
Yeah.
He like introduced me to Twitch. Like, you know, we would like come home at night and watch like Red Ray or like Stella. And then I was like, should we do this? I was like, maybe we should do this because like I think we have a really interesting back and forth, and I don't really see anyone doing it together, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we started together actually. And then like I said, Max is kind of a game jumper. So he jumps in and out of Gwent at times. I'm an extrovert. So like I love being around people, talking to people. Streaming kind of like scratches that social itch for me.
It does, for sure.
Yeah, it's great. Like I love hanging out with chat. It's my favorite part.
Same.
Max likes his quiet time though.
Yeah.
So eventually like Max kind of made the decision to kind of like transition out of the stream. And then I kind of took it over. But I really love that I had him there to start with, because, you know, starting streaming is just like...
It is a lot to take in. It is a lot to take in. First, like I think a lot of people speak about this, that the fact that you're kind of performing in front of a camera and you're talking to people who you cannot see, but you know they're watching you, and that's a kind of sense of people having eyes on you, you know, kind of hits you, because in the back of your head you're thinking about that. Okay, people are watching me. Am I acting? Am I sitting properly? Am I acting the right way? Is everything that I'm doing is okay? Maybe they're judging me. Maybe they're not judging me. It's like, it's so much information that goes and it goes into your head, and it's very easy to get stressed out by that. But you know, if you have someone to support you through that process, I think it's just much easier just to kind of, you know, like get into it. And once you get into it, you're kind of, you know, it's like with swimming. Once you learn how to swim, you're not afraid of water, right?
Exactly. Like talking to the camera, talking through your plays. It's kind of weird at first, but and you know, like when you start to stream, you stream to no one.
Yeah. You start
like
from
no
zero.
No one knows who you are. You start from zero. So we just kind of talked through our plays like normal, and then, like you said, it's like swimming. Like once I kind of got the vibe of talking to chat, playing, talking through my plays, then I felt a lot more comfortable. But yeah. I probably wouldn't have started streaming if he wasn't like there to support me.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And then pretty much you took it over, and you're now the person that is, you know, responsible for the streaming part of the whole thing, right?
Yeah. So I took it over. He's still really involved in stream. People just don't see him. Like
behind the scenes, pulling the strings.
He's behind the scenes. Like I told him, I was like, "You're my manager." He like helps me with all the graphics, all the tech stuff. He like picks out my outfits. Like lets me know if my hair's okay. Helps me with lighting. he like encourages me to stream. So yeah, he's still very involved. You just don't see his face. Sometimes you do though.
Yeah. That's kind of it's really nice to have just the support, right? Because sometimes when you're passionate about something and you're doing it, like if you're doing something like streaming is kind of this thing that is very repetitive, right? And sometimes if you're doing things repetitively and it's happening, you know, on a cadence, you kind of get it to a point where you're, you know, you're kind of feeling a little bit maybe the burnout, or you don't know if you're doing the right thing. It's just good to have that assurance from someone close to you saying that, okay, this is awesome. I love what you're doing. You know, keep on keeping on pretty much. And, you know, also giving you some pointers, you know, some of their own ideas that you might use. It just, you know, keeps the whole thing fresh and cool. And you also feel that you have the support coming in from that direction.
Yeah. And again, like the Gwent community's been,
oh yeah,
like, wow.
Everybody's amazing. I agree.
Yeah. Like everyone's amazing. Like all my friends who play video games is like, you know, like it's not like that in every game. Like, just so you know, like you picked a good one.
Yeah. I've seen that as a community manager. Like I get to look into other communities and talk to other community managers also, and kind of see like what they're going through. Like we're kind of spoiled with Gwent with having such a great community, and everybody's very helpful. Like, and everybody that also comes to like every other person's stream, they're like super supportive and like, you know, giving out pointers and stuff. It's just so good to see. Because yeah, like you said, in other games, like if you look at big games like Fortnite, you go in, or I don't know, PUBG or whatever, like people are not going to be friends. They're going to be like, oh, what are you doing? You ain't playing, right? That's not what you do. You should be, you don't know how to, you know, you suck or whatever. And it's, you don't get that here. Like it's even like, even if you're streaming and you don't know how to play, or you don't know how to play things, or how a certain archetype or deck works, someone in chat will tell you like, okay, try this, play this before that. Or if you played this, you would get more points. Or if you did this first, this would resolve better, blah, 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 blah. Right. So there's like a lot of things that kind of go into the whole thing.
Yeah, it's definitely helped me like be a better player. Having chat kind of give me pointers too.
Yeah. I agree. So like for me, I agree with you. Like the best aspect for me would be just to interact with people on stream, and then kind of have the game there, but kind of like an additional thing. Like I'm playing, maybe talking about the plays, explaining some stuff to people who maybe don't know the game as well. And that kind of, you know, gives a little bit of context. They're learning something, they're enjoying the stream more, but just talking to them like, hey, what's up? How was your day? How do you feel about this? And, you know, and it's really cool to have that, because like you mentioned, in the pandemic, we had a thing kind of where, you know, we're kind of taken away from our social lives. We could not interact with people, and streaming kind of gave you that possibility. And
it was the king of friends.
Yeah. It was just, you also get to meet new friends through this, and you also get to just interact with people, right?
I mean, I have a whole new group of friends now.
Yeah.
Because of Gwent.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, yeah, some of my best friends are like in this community now, like people that I talk to every day. Like, and I went to Poland, like got to meet a few people. So
yeah, and that's kind of the thing I was going to say. Like the next step is actually meeting these people in person and getting to interact with them and talk to them. It's just so cool, because you feel like you know them, although you only know them through like the internet, like you interacted with them, but maybe it was just like, you know, talking through a camera, and then you see them in person. It's like, it's even better. You're like, oh man, it's really cool to meet you in person. It's like, it's everything that I imagined, or like you're taller, you're shorter, I don't know, whatever. Like it's really, really cool. And I love that.
Yeah. I think all the guys are definitely taller. Cause I'm pretty tall.
Yeah.
For a girl. But yeah.
But everybody just seems to be a lot taller. So before we move on, I know a lot of people are waiting for the leak of the day. So I'll just move straight to that.
We're just talking and they want the leak.
Yeah. It's done on purpose on my side. So as you all know, we are working on the upcoming card drop. Like everything is pretty much done for it. There will be a whole reveal campaign for it. Ryan is working on that. But starting today, you will learn that the next card drop is called Chronicles. And we actually have some art to showcase for this one. So this is the announcement art. This drop comes out on October 4th. It brings 24 brand new cards to the game for you to enjoy. And your favorite content creators, streamers, and stuff like that will be showcasing these cards. And some of these cards also will be shown during the next Gwent Open, which is happening next weekend. So yeah, enjoy the art. It probably gives you some vibes and some ideas what you can expect. But it's gonna be a stacked one, and I'm really excited for it because there's some familiar faces coming back, but also some reinforcements for things you would not expect. So yeah, you're gonna be surprised by some of these, but I'm excited. I'm just excited because I love new cards and new toys to play with. I will probably be looking more into playing after the card drop because yeah, there's some really cool stuff without, of course, leaking and taking away from the creators and from Ryan, because they have a really, really cool plan for everything. No Dagon though, sorry. Because I already saw like people Dagon. I'm like, no, sorry, no Dagon.
Shut them down.
Yeah, we gotta like, gotta be straight with these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we talked about streaming, how that started. Then content creation and Team Legacy. How did that collaboration start for you?
Yeah, so actually became friends with one of the members from Team Legacy, Bart, who plays competitively. He would like come into our chat. We did like a co-op stream. We became like really good friends. He's actually one of my best friends, which is kind of funny now. Yeah, and then he just invited us because Max and I did not have a team. So yeah, it was pretty cool. We kind of got to like spearhead content creation for Legacy. I think they were mostly competitive before.
Yeah.
But now like we have like a pretty stacked content lineup. So that's been very cool.
Nice. So that's really cool. So they pretty much reached out to you, recognized that the work that you were both doing, and dropped you in. And then content creation for them is pretty much, is it just like the social side, or is it also the other things that they're kind of responsible for?
Yeah, I'm just mostly doing streaming right now. I keep thinking about getting into YouTube, but I feel like I'm so busy now. I like rarely find time to stream. So yeah, I don't know if I would have time for YouTube and other things like that. But
yeah, we're kind of talking about that it's really cool to have the possibility of doing remote work, working from home.
Yes.
And actually that kind of gives you a little bit more time, takes away the commuting time, and just focusing on, doing streaming a part of your normal job. I know it's also very taxing because not only you're doing a 9 to 5 or sometimes more, you're also, coming back home and you're like, oh, I still want to support this community. I want to play the game. I want to interact with people, but it's not always easy. It's not like always you have the energy and the time for it. So yeah.
It makes it a lot easier. I mean, sometimes like chat knows when I'm working if I start stream like an hour early and I like go behind me to like wiggle my mouth so my work screen doesn't like fall asleep. But yeah, working from home like actually makes it possible for me to stream more, which is kind of nice. Yeah. Even though I think my streaming window is kind of when like half of Europe is sleeping.
Yeah, but that's also kind of cool because I feel like, there's always someone streaming at a certain part of the day or night. So it doesn't matter like where you're from, you're able to check out what people are pretty much streaming and what content they're creating for the game, that there's always something happening. It's really good. And it's really just like, oh, okay, I want to, jump on Twitch. There's always someone there for me to kind of interact with or watch, or kind of also like learning about new content creators, new streamers is kind of cool because you get to know different people, different personalities, and everybody brings something unique and cool into the streaming experience and into the game. And there's like no two same people because everybody's from like a different walk of life. So it's really cool to see.
Yeah, I love just like popping into new streamers. I like typically try to, if I see them, just like kind of pop in and say hi, because everyone was like super welcoming when like Max and I started streaming. like really, really great. Like I remember like our first raid was like Stussy.
Ah, nice.
And we were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, I totally messed this up because I was like so nervous. It's like you have like 2 viewers and all of a sudden you have like 200. And like, yes, Stussy was like Max and I's favorite streamer. Like we watched him all the time together. So I was like,
yeah, it's always really cool. It's the same thing that I like doing, like rating and hosting people is just amazing, and you always want to do it for the lesser known, let's say, content creators. So you kind of just jump in and kind of like throw all the people their way, and it's a lot more followers, it's a lot more recognition, and you know how the internet works. Like they see you on Twitch, they follow you on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, that these people interact with you all the time. There's always something happening, which is really, really cool and kind of keeps the whole thing going.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of try to pass that on if there's like a new streamer that I haven't like seen streaming at the same time as me when I get out. But yeah, we've been like really, really lucky to like get so much support from so many like bigger names in this community. It's kind of nice to like pass it on.
I agree. Yeah, and it's really cool that also when we do like esports events, we always look by the end of the event like who we can raid. Yeah, and pretty much just throwing all the love like to someone's channel, especially if that person has like 1 viewer, 2 viewers or whatever. It's just like, hello, here you go. Here's a couple thousand. Enjoy.
Yeah, and you make such a difference to their day. I mean, like we were saying before, like kind of streaming to 1 or 2 people, you're like talking to yourself pretty much, and all of a sudden you have all these followers, all these chatters, like they want to know about you, they want to know about what you're playing, like they'll help you. And like especially after like an open or something, like they will never forget that. So I think that's really cool you guys do that.
Yeah, and everybody kind of, the kind of goal for you when you're starting on Twitch, you want to get affiliate, then you want to get to partner as as soon as possible and as quick as possible. And it's really cool to make that easier for people. And I feel like companies should be really putting their effort towards that in order to like embracing the community, and looking at the content creators and streamers and kind of pushing people their way to make their life easier. Because some people might be thinking like, okay, I might be streaming the game just for fun after work. Some treat it as, a form of revenue that comes in. Like you said, some start YouTube channels and stuff like that just to have another outlet where people can recognize them, find them. And it kind of the thing is happening right now where people are coming from Twitch to YouTube, from YouTube to Twitch. So these two networks are working, back to one another, and it's just good to see that. And yeah, I mean, some people just, they take the leap and they kind of go like, oh, I want to do content creation like full time, and that just enables them to do it.
Right. Yeah, I think like I pretty much do it after work now, but yeah, I really give it to the people who do it full time because it is not easy.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It is. Yeah, it is not easy content creation, but doing it for fun is cool.
Yeah, doing it for fun is very cool, especially when you find the time to do it. I'm guilty of not having the time to stream as much as I would like to. But I like to I like to just keep the ones that like I want to keep Twig going. Like I want to do any other things in front of a camera, and for like CDPR, for Gwent related, but also for other stuff. So it's really cool to have that possibility. But whenever I find the time, it's just good to do it. I would like to just have time to like play games a little bit more and just stream them, but it's not that easy to do.
It's definitely not. Yeah, I think I try to do like at least once a week. My goal once upon a time was like every other day, but yeah, life just kind of got in the way of that.
Yeah.
So
life always,
do it when I can, and I love it.
Yeah, life always gets in the way. So
yeah.
So
like I was doing the Casino Gwent Cup, and that kind of made it like I kind of like had to stream, right? It was like, well, like you're playing a game, so let's just like pop on stream for an hour.
You also did some casting for some of the right? Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
So how was that experience for you?
It was actually awesome. I've been thinking about kind of trying to figure out, maybe see if I like casting a little bit. so yeah, they were looking for casters, and I was like, yeah, let me try it. And yeah, I love it. It is super fun.
Yeah.
It's been super, super fun. Like, it's off meta deck, so
So
interesting
it's more
cards
fun.
are out. Yeah, I mean, I also, like I said, I'm a meta slave, so
I
it
think
was kind of
everybody
like,
is.
yeah, I had to like look into the cards. I was like, I don't even know what She Troll does, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's good,
Yeah,
but
the casting's been super fun. I love
yeah,
it.
off meta is always just a little bit more exciting. And like you said, it's also the fact that you need to learn about new cards, which you kind of see less play because it's like it's not, you know, the cookie cutter top decks that you normally see. But yeah, so casting was cool for you.
Yeah, I loved it. I would definitely like to like get better at it, get some more experience, like do some more of it.
Yeah. Nice, nice. So, when it comes to your future plans moving forward, is there anything that you would like to explore? Kind of casting, maybe YouTube, maybe staying just on Twitch and trying to keep the streams going at a certain cadence, or are you happy where you are and pretty much it's hard to find time for it? So, what's the overall outlook right now?
So I thought about YouTube. I think it might just be a little too much of a time commitment with the editing and whatnot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I think I would just like to kind of up my streaming a little bit and then also just get some more casting experience.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like dive into that, but definitely stream more.
Yeah, I think that's the kind of the goal always to find a little bit more time to stream a little bit more and just keep the cadence going in this case. Like if you're doing it once a week, to try to do it twice a week, and then from twice a week maybe 3 times. But I feel like a lot of content creators say this and a lot of streamers say this, like trying to do it every day is very difficult because you feel like, you know, the burnout really like sets in at a certain moment, especially if you're doing like, I don't know, like 8 hour streams, even 3 hours. I feel like keeping energy up for that amount of time is quite difficult. I remember, I think once I did like a 12 hour stream, and I remember that itself was just, it was really taxing because at the end of the 12 hours, I was like, man, this feels like a long day at work pretty much. And I was just
It
playing
pretty much
cards.
is.
Yeah.
It pretty much is. Like, I used to I think I was a little too hard on myself a few months ago. I set like a goal like every other day, 3 hours stream minimum, and I just found myself like not really liking it
Yeah.
anymore. You know what I mean? It's like I love playing this game. I love streaming, and then all of a sudden like I found myself dreading it. It felt like a job, and I have a job already.
Yeah.
So I actually took like a month off of
Hmm.
streaming. And then when I came back, I was just like, I'm doing what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I want to stream for an hour, I'll stream for an hour. I want to stream for 4, I'll stream for 4. I stream when I want, and I love it again.
Yeah, I think that's the goal to like a healthy relationship with whatever you're doing. It's like
Yeah.
not trying to push yourself in order to do something because it kind of goes against what you really want. So it's good to just do it, you know, at a pace that is comfortable for you. Like you wake up and you're like, okay, I want to do this instead of like, no, I have to stream for a certain amount of time. It's just, I think it's just much healthier
Right.
because you're
Like,
kind
I
of,
just
you're
wake up
forcing
and I'm like,
yourself.
like, I want to stream today, and I'll stream. Or like, I intended on streaming today, but you know, I played some games earlier and I felt really tilted, so I'm not going to stream today. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely like increased my love of streaming and my love of the game, like in general, trying to not set this like guideline for myself and just enjoying it because it's fun, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what it should be because like we mentioned, like for us, streaming is kind of something that we do additionally outside of
Mhm.
the work that we do. So we do this for the fun of it and the fun aspect for it and kind of, you know, hanging out with people, chilling, talking to them. And instead of just being kind of like, okay, this is another job, I already have a job. Let's not treat this as
Yeah.
something that I need to do 100%, right?
Like, I play the game pretty much every day, almost every day anyway, so it's fun. Like, I play with friends sometimes, so sometimes like I just have my friends like come on stream and play with me.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, that's fun too. So it's nice. It adds like a little bit of variety, like playing with the friends on stream.
True.
Because you know, I started as like a co-op streamer, so it kind of like brings it back a little bit. Max will come on.
Nice.
Like a little bit of variety.
Nice. So everything started from Witcher 3. Did you play through the whole Witcher 3 plus the expansions and all that?
So funny story. Once I found Gwent, I dropped Witcher 3. I dropped it like a hot potato. Like I was like, oh, like card game. Like, yes, this is my thing. Like I'm not a fighter.
Wow, okay.
But actually I just finished Witcher 3.
Okay, cool.
In the winter. So I finished the full game. I finished Hearts of Stone, and I've yet to finish Blood and Wine. Okay. I got stuck. Like I said, I'm not a great fighter, so I got stuck in one of the quests. So actually, Max said he'll play it and kind of help me out of it.
That's nice.
I intend on finishing it, and I really, really, really am happy I finished Witcher 3.
Yeah. Yeah,
like so the story is just amazing.
Yeah, the story is great. And the fun thing about it is the main story is awesome, but there's also so many cool side quests that you can do and go through that those themselves are kind of really exciting by themselves. Like some of them are kind of like a small story condensed, and some of them also are kind of Easter eggish because they fall into, I don't know, some pieces of literature. There's a lot of like Slavic also influence there. So there's some like myths coming from those and legends. So yeah, it was really, really cool. And I'm pretty much myself just waiting to replay Witcher 3 once, you know, the next gen version comes out, because I really want to like do another replay of the whole thing. Especially that I played it on PS4 and now I have a good enough PC to kind of play it on PC. So it's just, you know.
Are you gonna make different choices though? Same choice?
I feel that the way that I play through the game is always pretty much the same. Like I always try to go for like a good Geralt and having like the good ending, which is Ciri becoming a Witcher, because that's the good ending.
And I was so nervous.
And I will fight everybody who says otherwise.
No, I was so nervous when like the ending screen came up. I was like, oh my God, like, am I gonna kill Ciri?
Yeah.
Like what? But are you Team Yen or Team Triss? This is the big decision.
It's always going to be Yennefer. It's always going to be Yennefer.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. Good. I mean, those are solid choices. If someone says Triss, like, no, Triss was bad. Like she was using Geralt to some extent. No.
Yes. So Max didn't finish the game yet, but he's like Team Triss, and I'm like, why? Yeah, I intend on finishing Blood and Wine because I spoiled myself a little bit. Like I said, when I started playing Gwent, I kind of Googled the lore.
Yeah.
I kind of spoiled myself with the story for Blood and Wine. So now I want to play through it and see if like actually, you know, doing the interactions and playing through it, I would make the decisions that I think I'm going to make.
Yeah. I think also, you know, the story in Blood and Wine is quite cool. I mean, having Regis there, I think is kind of the biggest thing for me, and was the biggest thing for me because I always like mentioned, like I started with the books, then I played the games, and in the books, like Regis, you and the Hansa is kind of like an important part of Geralt's story, and it's something that, you know, in the games you did not get. Like I think Regis was mentioned in Witcher 1, but he shows up in Blood and Wine for the first time. So getting to see him there is kind of like, oh, that's so cool. And I remember I already joined the company when work on Blood and Wine was almost close to being finished. And I remember I got to see like the character models and sketches for him. So I was like, first I was like, I kind of imagined him differently when I was reading the book, but actually his look kind of grew on me.
So now it's what you think he should be.
Yeah, now it's kind of like, you know, when I think Regis, I just see him, and then also through Gwent, like he's portrayed there as a leader. He's also on the card, so it's like, I mean, that's how he looks. Easy.
It's kind of interesting. I actually watched the Witcher show first. I don't think I mentioned that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I mentioned that. So I started the Witcher show because Max and I were on vacation in Miami, and it thunderstormed the whole time. We had nothing to do. And Max was like, you love fantasy. Like, you also love Henry Cavill.
Who doesn't? I mean, come on.
But then I, like I said, played a little Witcher 3, went into Gwent, back into Witcher 3, and now I'm finally reading the books.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Finally reading them. I think I'm on the last one of the trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seeing Regis in there is like super interesting, and kind of like you're reading some of the card quotes, which I think is super cool. Like the way I kind of discovered the universe is kind of backwards in terms of like what most people would do, but because I did it kind of backwards, I'm kind of catching little things. It makes me like appreciate how the whole universe kind of ties together, right?
Yeah.
Like everything is related.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because for me, like whenever I came back, because I tend to come back and replay Blood and Wine. For me, it's like my favorite. And sometimes I just launch Witcher 3 and I kind of go through the game, and then I like hear some voice lines. They're voice lines from Gwent, and I was like, shit, I played Witcher 3 before. Then I played Gwent, but and you go back, you're like, this is a Gwent, like call out or war cry or whatever. It's like, huh.
Yeah, it's really interesting how it kind of like all ties together, and like, yeah, I'm like reading the book, and I'm like, I'm literally reading like a card line.
Yeah.
Also, when I played Witcher 3, Gwent kind of spoiled some things for me, so like. That was like interesting, like the whole Hubert thing. Like I saw Hubert and I was like, I know
what's gonna happen.
I saw your card.
Yeah, that's true. That's totally true. And it's interesting that you say that, because I've seen like whoever I talk to here has like a different journey when it comes to Gwent, Witcher. Like I know a lot of people from the Gwent community started with Gwent, and then from Gwent move on to Witcher. There are people like even like Flake who says like, yeah, I played a little bit of Witcher, but I'm more of a card game player, so I'll focus on everything, Gwent related, and I won't really bother with the RPG aspect of it, which is also a different way of discovering the game. But also like from Gwent, like from Witcher to Gwent to then like before that also like watching the show and reading the books. There's like so many different walks of life that you can come into and get into the games itself. It's just crazy.
Yeah, they all tie together. Like every time I like pick up the book again and I like read something, like kind of feels like opening up like a present.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading now about like the Lodge of Sorceresses, which is like super cool because you like see that in the game, right? In like Witcher 3.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of learning the background of it. Like the characters from Gwent. So yeah, It's kind of tying everything together. It's like very cool for me to kind of get it from like all angles.
Yeah, I also love that aspect of it. And like I said, like if I go back to the game or if I go back to anything from the books or, whenever there's something that we're doing for Gwent and that I remember it from the books or from Witcher 3, and then I see it, as a new art or new flavor text or something, it just all ties together perfectly. And it's really cool to have that like familiarity amongst all these things, right?
That's exactly what it is. It's like familiarity in the universe, but there's so many different types of media that you can like kind of ingest it in. Like I remember I was carrying around the book one day and someone was like, "What are you reading? Like that doesn't look very girly." And I was like, the Witcher TV show. And they're like, "Oh yeah.
Yeah,
like,
everybody knows it now. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is it.
Yeah, you gotta educate people. Like you watch this, now read the books.
I mean, I'm a big book reader. Like like fantasy books are like everything to me. So
I mean, they're the best, and I feel like for us, it's kind of we're put on that path. Like I was put on that path by my dad, he read like sci-fi and fantasy, so he would like pitch me some of these books, and they're like, hey, check this out, like read this, it might be something that will interest you. And also us being in Poland, like Witcher was mandatory reading in school, like on our Polish lessons, like, but it was like only it was like only The Last Wish there.
Okay.
So, you start with the short stories in high school because you're old enough, because I mean, it's kind of mature content and serious stuff. Right. So we started with that, and, that is kind of the short stories kind of lead you into the rest of the books. So it was really cool to start from that. And then I remember for the rest of the books, I was just borrowing them from my dad in order to to read them through them. It was like, okay, this is really, really cool.
One in Poland reads the Witcher books, right?
I mean, here it's become such a phenomenon that, I mean, everybody has read the books sooner or later, unless you're really not into fantasy. But I mean, we had our own TV show, which maybe wasn't the best, about The Witcher.
I saw a few clips from it. It was interesting.
And that already itself got people into like, that show got people into the books, but the books were kind of, they're like a staple. Like, it was something that was, you would turn on, the first program on television and would be everywhere, like Sapkowski, the books. And, pretty much that's where it all started and kind of kept the whole thing going. So then we, once the game started being developed by CDP, people were really thankful and kind of jumping onto that, especially like, even for Gwent, like we're seeing it, like Witcher and Gwent is very, very strong here in Poland. Like, we have a lot of community members here. We have all the media outlets here that are based in Poland, that are always going to be talking about Witcher, because they feel like it's it's kind of like our export good that we're shipping out into the world to let people enjoy it. And we as Poles are proud of it, because it's something that originated and started here, and it's now becoming like a global thing. Same goes with the TV show. Like, I know there are people who are split in terms of like the portrayal of some of the characters, as well as the story decisions, and kind of that it's it's spinning off some things in a different direction. But that's totally fine, because it's just bringing more people into the Witcher universe, which I feel like is the common goal that we all have, is like, let people check it out for themselves, experience it, read it, play it, watch it, whatever they want to do. And, like, consume the lore and all that stuff. And that's what makes it really, really cool.
Yeah, it's like you're a proud export to the world. Like, I mean, I guess technically the show is my introduction to it, even though I kind of say it was the game. I did watch the show first, so I don't know if I would have played the game if I didn't see the show.
Yeah. And that's how it works. Like, you try one thing and you move on to the other. If it catches your interest, like, it needs to catch your interest. And if I kind of have this personality that, if something is interesting enough, I will like 100% get into it. Like, if it's sports, it works the same way. If it's books, it works the same way. If it's like TV show, I will check everything around it and, try to learn as much about, the actors or the backgrounds or the stories or whatever, the development, the cast, everything. You want to know more and more and more about it, because you get kind of invested into it.
Yeah, that I am too. I kind of go like all in with something, which is why this universe kind of like was a perfect fit for me, because there is so much to consume. And yeah, there's a lot to like. Every time I like find a new character, I'm like, you know what, like maybe I'll like research this character. Then like there's so much background and like lore on them, so there's a lot to consume.
Yeah.
It kind of never gets boring.
Do you have a favorite character overall when it comes to the Witcher universe? I'm not only talking about the games, so books, TV show. Is there anything that kind of sticks out to you?
I mean, Yennefer is definitely my favorite character. When I first started reading The Last Wish, I was like, ooh, I'm not sure. Like, I think she's kind of mean. But as you kind of, which like, whatever. We're all kind of mean sometimes. But as you kind of unroll her character, she's very complex.
Yeah.
She has her goals. She goes through it. She's soft. Like the inside of her is definitely softer. Yeah. I also love Francesca.
Yeah. I mean, the Lodge of Sorceresses is really awesome. Like that itself, and the politics, the politics within it, and also how they kind of influence and also kind of puppet master some of the stuff that is going on within, the world and between let's say the rulers that you have there, and kind of, either siding with Nilfgaard, siding with Northern Realms or any other. It kind of like there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack there. Like literally, I just read the part of the book with the Lodge of Sorceresses was so cool to me, and then like it went to like some fighting scene, and I was like, maybe we'll take like a month off of reading because that was like the peak to me, like all the political intrigue, like like you said, how they kind of like pull the strings, they side, like you might say one thing, but your intention is something else. And the first time they all came together, they kind of didn't really trust each other, right?
Yeah.
They were uniting for something, but didn't really know the secret motives. So actually I should probably open up the book again and finish that up.
That's how it kind of works. Like it kind of pulls you back in all the time into the world and to check it out. And I mean, yeah, but there are some things that once you go through them, you're like, oh, this is a lot to take in, but still you kind of come back to it and you kind of want more.
Yeah, I think I should pick it up. You know, I tend to read like I'll read like a really heavy fantasy book and then I'll read some like light historical fiction and I'll kind of alternate.
Yeah.
But when I jumped into The Witcher, I jumped into it. I don't know if you know the Shannara Chronicles. So I just finished the Shannara Chronicles and then jumped into Witcher. So it was kind of like heavy fantasy. So I took a little break, but yeah, now talking with you, I kind of want to jump back into it.
That's how it works. That's how you get people hooked once again.
Yeah, I'm kind of like hyped for it again.
Yeah. I mean, I have the same thing. Like whenever I talk to someone about like Witcher, I mean, I am also in a position where, you know, working in a company, there's so many passionate people about Witcher, about Cyberpunk and everything. And they are like, we're influencing one another to go back to the game, go back to the books, go back to whatever, and just, you know, check it out. The same goes for games that are not developed by us or kind of that we don't work on, to have the possibility to kind of go and check them out because your colleague or friend is like saying, oh, you have to check it out, right?
Kind of like opens you up to like all of these new things, which is very cool. And yeah, this universe has definitely like opened me up to a lot. Like I've started playing other games since I started playing like Gwent and Witcher, which has been like super fun. Yeah, now I could say I'm a full-fledged gamer, I guess.
Nice. So you never thought that's going to be something for you, and then
like absolutely never. Like if you asked anyone in my life like pre-pandemic, like would Melissa be playing video games, like everyone would say like absolutely not. Like the most I did was like The Sims. And now, like I finished Witcher 3. Like yeah, it's interesting. Like I dabbled in Hearthstone a little bit. What else have I played? I played like Hellblade.
Yeah. Oh, Hellblade's a really good game.
Hellblade's a really cool game.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the next one. I can't wait.
I know.
Yeah.
Actually, someone was like, it's more puzzle than fighting, so I think you'll really like it. And it was, like playing it with the headsets on. Insane.
Oh man,
it's very creative. Yeah. Like, it's a really different game. So yeah, I'm super grateful that I found Gwent because it definitely changed my life.
Nice. It's really cool how games can influence us and kind of put us in a trajectory that we don't think that we're ever going to go down, because you normally see people talking about games that, games are kind of something that, kids do, or it's something that, is not considered like a very serious media. Thankfully, that has changed throughout the years. But before it was that like, oh, kids sitting on their computers, on their Game Boys and, wasting time. And now it's kind of become a form of like mature media that works in a similar way as a book, as a TV show or a movie that kind of moves people, and not only provides like simple easy entertainment, but also something more.
Exactly. Now it's kind of more accepted. I mean, even sometimes like a lot of my friends don't know I like stream or like play games anymore, because I think there's kind of still a stigma with like being a woman playing games. It's seen as like like a manly thing to do. But
yeah, it's also harder for you because getting into gaming, like I feel like there is this this stigma that people try to put on, like girl gamers are not there for like playing the games. Like, what do they know about gaming? And it's terrible. And there's this whole thing about like being a fake gamer. Thankfully, I feel like it's also maybe passing a little bit now, because there's just more like female representation within gaming itself, which is really good. And it's what I think companies are striving for. And also just the content creators and you know, the streamers, that's what they're showing. Like, you can be good at a game, you can bring something to the table, which is very interesting and is different from what you expect from like a typical gamer model that you have within your head. So it's just, you know, it's branching out and broadening people's horizons, which I think that's kind of what you want to achieve moving forward.
Yeah, Gwent's really good at that. Like, Gwent has a ton of like really great female representation, and you know, we're good at the game.
Yeah,
like we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that there's so many streamers and people can come and chat and kind of see that you're skilled at the game, you know what you're talking about. I remember when I first started streaming, like people kept coming in and asking me what rank I am, and I'm like, you see no avatar, like you know I'm pro rank. Or like you feel like they'll try to like backseat you more because you're a woman. Like you definitely see it more with like female streamers, but it's cool. We're kind of getting out there.
You know, when push comes to shove, like they kind of see your plays, they see like, you know, you're able to handle everything on your own and that you're doing a great job. And sometimes they're even learning from you, but they're not, you know, they won't even say that, they won't admit it that they're learning or they're, you know, taking something away. But slowly and surely they're just like, okay, she knows what she's doing and everything's fine. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's like so many female streamers now. So like, now the whole community knows we know what we're doing. Yeah,
it was also really cool because like Emile was here in chat and she was saying that it's really awesome to see you and that she would like to like cast something with you moving into the future. Like it's just really cool to see, and it's really wholesome stuff. So kudos to that.
Yeah, Emile's actually a really good friend of mine. Like we prep together for like the Casino Gwent Cup. We like talk almost every day. So
nice.
Yeah, she's one of the people that I was able to like meet like over this game that I really appreciate.
That's really cool. Awesome. Okay, we've been into an hour, so we'll be closing out shortly. Where can people find you, or where should people follow you, or where can they consume your content? Probably it's Twitch, right? But if there's any place...
so I stream on Twitch at MelGWENT. You can find me on Twitter at MelGWENT, and that's it for now. But yeah, you can always like message me on Discord to chat.
Perfect. And yeah, for those wondering what happened to the leak, we already showed it. So October 4th, Chronicles are dropping. Here's a sneak peek into the art. 24 brand new cards coming into the game with patch 10.10. And also this image is up on Twitter. So go to @PlayGwent and you can check it out there. And yeah, that's the show for this week, and I will see everybody next week. Mel or Melissa, thank you for taking the time.
To thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
It was very fun, and I am really happy I got to be here for the leaks because they are beautiful, and I am extra hyped for the card drop now.
Yeah, me too.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be an exciting one, and I'm just waiting for people's reaction, especially when we start working with the content creators to reveal this stuff. So it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, it should be a really fun fall in Gwent.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, all those for watching on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and yeah, see everybody next week. Bye bye.